Well, good morning. Welcome. Actually, I don't have my mic on. Gonna put the microphone on. All right. Now I think the microphone is connected. Okay. All right. Good morning. Welcome. So we'll start briefly in our seated position. So go ahead and come into your seated position. Allow your eyes to close. Start to check in with your body, noticing how you're feeling today. And then we'll guide our palms together in front of the heart. As we inhale, reach the fingertips up toward the ceiling. And then as we exhale, reach the hands out and down, releasing the hands toward the floor. Turn the palms up. Inhale, reaching out and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Again, inhale, reaching up. Exhale out and down. Inhale out and up. And exhale, hands to the heart. All right, now interlace the fingers, press the palms forward and up. And start to reach up through one hand and up through the other side, left and right a few times. Give a little tug on your fingers. All right, then let your hands separate. Take them behind your back. Interlace the fingers there. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open up across the chest. Gently turn your head side to side. All right, and then reach the chin up. And drop it down. Again, lifting up. And dropping down. Once more lifting. And dropping. All right, as you bring your head up to center, release your arms, and then come down onto your back. So as you come onto your back, start with your knees bent, feet resting on the floor. Step the feet a little bit wider than your hips so that now as you start to sway your knees from side to side, each leg can drop in and out to its capacity without bumping into the other leg. All right, after a few times, dropping the knees left and right, gradually come back to stillness, and then we'll cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Bring the legs in toward the chest, reaching through for your left leg. Rock a little bit from side to side as well as rotate through the left ankle, wiggle the toes, move them around in space. Rotate both ways. All right, then take your hands behind your left knee so that your left leg is able to straighten up toward the ceiling. Doesn't have to be all the way straight, but it's moving in that general direction. Reaching the left heel up, start to pull your left toes down. So you feel the front of your leg engaging to help lengthen the backside of the leg. And then point your toes up. So you're doing the opposite, stretching the top of the foot, the front of the ankle up into the shin as the backside of the leg engages. And then again, reach the heel up, pull the toes down. And once more, point the toes. All right, so let that left foot and ankle relax. Straighten your right leg up to join it, but let the right ankle be on top of the left ankle. And then interlace your fingers. Hands go behind the head. Head and elbows resting on the floor. Now inhale as you lower your legs toward the floor. Stopping before they get all the way to the floor, so you're continuously holding that weight. And then as you exhale, pull your legs back up. Now, if that was a bit too much for you, just do the bottom leg or let your knees bend a little bit and just go part way down. All right, so we'll do 4 more. Inhale as you lower. Again, maybe it's both legs together, maybe it's one leg, maybe it's the knees bent, just go part way. And then exhale, come back up. All right, 3 more. All right, 2. And last one. All right, feet come to the floor, step them wide again. Sway the knees side to side. All right, coming to stillness, release your arms. This time we're crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Bring the legs into the chest. Reach through for that right leg, rock a little bit side to side, as well as rotate through your right ankle. Wiggle and scrunch the toes, move them around in space. All right, then take your hands behind your right knee so that your right leg is able to straighten toward the ceiling, reaching the heel up, pull the toes down. Again, feeling how the front of the leg activates as the back of the leg begins to lengthen. And then point your toes up, stretching the top of the foot, the front of the ankle, up into the shin as the back of your leg engages. All right, then heel reaches up, toes pull down. And once more, point the toes. All right, so as that right foot and ankle relax, straighten your left leg up to join it, this time with the left ankle crossed on top. As we did before, interlace your fingers, hands behind your head and elbows on the floor. We'll do 5 more of these. Again, your options are keep the legs together. You could just do the bottom leg, or as you're lowering the legs, maybe the knees are a little bit bent, you just go part way. Just work with whatever level of challenge is best for you. All right, 5 of these. Inhale to lower. And exhale to lift. And 4 more. Last 2. And last 1. Again, release the feet to the floor. Step them wider than your hips, and one more time, sway the knees side to side. All right, then release your hands from behind your head, and then turn over onto your front. As you turn over onto your front, just walk your arms forward so that you've got elbows underneath your shoulders. And then start to press down into your forearms, lift your heart, reach it forward. Extending back through the legs, back through the toes. Take a few deep breaths in and out, feeling the inhalation create a little space around the belly. Exhale, heart reaches forward, toes reach back. 2 more breaths. All right, lower the heart down to the floor. Take the arms alongside the torso. Now as you inhale, lift your head and chest. Lift your arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then lift your legs. So the back side of the body is strongly engaged as we open the front side. Heart reaches forward, fingers and toes reach back. All right, 5 breaths. All right, and then melt into the floor. All right, bend your knees, sway the feet gently from side to side. All right, then release your feet down to the floor, press yourself up onto hands and knees. As you come to hands and knees, we'll start with hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And then as you inhale, drop the belly toward the floor, lifting your head and your tailbone. And then breathing out as you tuck the tail, round the back, chin toward the chest. Again, inhale as the belly drops, head and tail lift up. And exhale, tuck and round. One more like that, breathing in. And breathing out. All right, bring your torso back to neutral and then drop down onto your elbows. And let the elbows be underneath the shoulders. Take the hands together, interlace the fingers. So you're kind of forming a triangle here. And then pressing down into your forearms, you feel your torso lift up away from the floor and you feel your shoulders engage. And then we'll tuck our toes, lift the knees, drop the head into the space between your arms, but keep pressing the forearms down so your head isn't necessarily touching the floor. And then as you're reaching your hips up, you're pressing your chest and your belly toward your thighs. Take a few deep breaths here. Rest when you need to, so drop to your knees if needed. All right, take another 3 breaths if you're still up. All right, then we'll all release down to the knees, untuck the toes, sit back towards the feet into child's pose. So when we come into child's pose, we're folding over or between the thighs. So again, your knees might be together. You might have some space between them, and then just release your head towards the floor or a soft prop like a block. You could also use your hands underneath your forehead. And just take a few easy breaths here. Feel the expansion of your back and your belly as you breathe in. And just let yourself soften as you breathe out. One more breath. All right, come back to hands and knees. Take the knees close together. And then lift your right knee up and out to the side. And we'll start with some rotation. So right knee draws a big circle. All right, change directions. All right, and then inhale, reach the right foot back. Exhale, right knee into the chest. Again, inhale, reaching back. Exhale, knee into the chest. And one more inhale back. And exhale, knee into the chest. All right, so as you take your right leg back this time, cross it over the left leg and drop the toes over towards the left. Spin your fingers out and then curve your spine to the left. So you're peeking back at your right foot, creating a nice side bend on the right side of the body. Sensing all the way up the right side, from the foot to the shoulder. All right, one more breath. All right, bring the torso back to neutral, and then we'll step the right foot forward to the right hand. Just stepping into a short lunge so that you have your knee over your ankle with your right leg. And then lifting up, you've got your left hip over your left knee. Take the left hand to the right knee and then sweep the right hand forward and up. and back and down, rotating through the right shoulder. Spread the fingers wide apart. All right, one more full circle. All right, both hands to the floor and step forward. As you come into this forward fold, let your knees start a little bit bent if you have some tension or tightness in the backs of your legs. Starting with the knees bent is a good place to start. Shift the weight a little bit right to left, left to right. Letting one leg straighten a little bit more than the other. All right, take a breath in and come up halfway. So your hands come up near your shins, or near your knees rather. Looking forward, and then exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees again, hands to the floor. Walk the feet back so we come into downward dog. Lifting the hips up into the air. Heels lift and lower. Fingers spread wide apart. All right, breathe in deeply as you rock forward into plank pose. So shoulders come over the wrists. And then breathing out, lift back to downward dog. We'll do that 2 more times with the breath. Inhale, coming forward, find your plank. Exhale back, downward dog. One more, nice and slow. Inhale forward. And exhale back. All right, release down to your knees, untuck your toes. Again, sit back towards your feet into child's pose. Again, hands might be underneath the forehead. You might take your hands back near your feet. But just allow your torso to rest here on or between your thighs. Couple of deep breaths. Just softening. All right, one more breath. And then bring yourself back to hands and knees. We'll guide the knees back together this time, left knee up and out to the side. Start to rotate a couple times in one direction. And a couple times the opposite way. So the next time you breathe in, reach the left foot back. Exhale, left knee into the chest, rounding your back. Again, inhale, reach back. Exhale, knee into the chest. One more inhale back. And exhale, knee into the chest. As you take your left leg back this time, cross it over the right leg, drop the toes towards the floor there on the right. Spin your fingers out and then curve the spine to the right. So you're peeking back now at your left foot. Sensing all the way up the left side of the body. All right, bring the torso back to neutral. Step that left foot forward to the left hand. So that as you step into your short lunge and lift your torso up, you have your front knee over your ankle or pretty close to it, and your right hip over your knee. And right hand comes across to that left knee, and then sweep your left hand forward and up and back and down. Rotating a few times through the left shoulder. Spread the fingers. All right, one more full circle. All right, both hands to the floor, step forward. Again, into your forward fold. Start with a slight bend in your knees, and then shift the weight to one leg more than the other so that one knee bends, one leg straightens a little bit. All right, this time as you inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Sweep your arms out to the sides and up. Join the palms above your head. And then exhale your hands to your heart. All right, from here, take your feet to hip distance apart if they're not already. And then as you inhale, push your hips back and float your arms up as you come into chair pose. Then as you exhale, just release the arms down and back. Now as you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, rise to stand, so straighten your legs. And then exhale, release your arms. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, finding chair, hips back, arms up. Exhale, just the arms, down and back. Inhale, arms forward and up, rise fully to stand, straighten the legs. Exhale, release your arms. All right, one more. Inhale into chair. Exhale, just the arms. Inhale, rising to stand. And exhale, release the arms. All right, bring the palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold, bend the knees, take the hands to the floor, walk the feet back one more time to downward dog. Spread the fingers wide apart. All right, releasing down to your knees. And then come back into your seat. Do a breathing practice or two. So come back into a seat that feels comfortable for you. Might be sitting cross-legged on a cushion or similar. But just take a moment to settle back in to a vertical position of your spine. All right, so we'll practice alternate nostril breathing. So use your right hand. Take your peace fingers in towards your palm so that your thumb and your ring finger are available to block alternate nostrils. All right, so right thumb goes to right nostril. Inhale through the left side. Close off the left, open the right and exhale. Inhale, right side. Close it off, open the left, exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. 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 And then as you release your hand, let the breath come back into a natural pace, unrestricted to its point of entry, unrestricted to its length. Just let the breath flow with ease. All right, we'll join our palms in front of the heart. As we bow to the light within ourselves, we also bow to the light within each other. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. May we know peace. Thank you again for being present. See you again next time. Bye-bye.